This is just for the next production manager. So this has just been a little temporary storage closet for AV stuff for St. Peter. I have cleaned out a ton of this stuff, and it used to be so much more stuff in here. But there is stuff in here still. There are a few monitors. Those are not powered, I believe. Those would be like what that amp could power for like choir speakers. Those have been sitting in here. Mic stands and stuff like that, some cabling, some drum pieces. I have some hard cases in here, a few boxes for the new PTZ cameras in case there's a repair or something. I got rid of a lot of the older boxes. There are some miscellaneous cables and things in here, snakes, in case that's needed. One thing I do want to make sure I point out is right here. Well, first of all, this is my super long HDMI cable that has worked. This is way beyond like the length it's supposed to be, but it works. So I had this. We originally had that sermon cam connected with HDMI before we upgraded our system, and I had to use this cable, and it worked. So, but what I really want to point out down here is this snake. This snake is the OEM snake that came with the Digico. So you'll see some nice network jack on the inside of there on both ends.
Okay.
This was designed for the snake and the mixer to be able to connect. If you're doing a venue, if you're doing a thing, it's a long cable, probably 300 feet, 250 feet. So if you ever need to do the Christmas services was one main thing.
In the gym?
In the gym. When we did that, we had to bring our mixer from here.
Yep.
And there. So I pulled this cable out, and this is how I connected the snake and the mixer in the gym, ran it all the way around the outside and plugged it in. So a different big to do first thing when you get here would be figure out the Christmas program for the grade school kids in the gym. There were some emails going around between Pastor Tim, myself, Mr. Donnell, the principal. It is extremely jury-rigged system. I had to rip out the snake. I had to rip out the rack. I had to rip out the mixer. We had to haul all of that down there.
I remember helping you.
And remember when we were back there and that Aviom little unit is in the bottom of the snake where there used to be outputs?
Mm-hmm.
The problem with the gym is that I can't bring an output for the speakers, for the monitors, because there's no outputs on that snake. So we have to run outputs somehow there. And I did this system where I plugged Avioms in and made those the outputs and connected a wire to the speaker from the Aviom units. Definitely not how you're supposed to do it. And it was a lot of work to rip everything apart, plug everything back in. So before Pastor Tim left, he kind of said, Mr. Donnell, we got to figure this out so we're not ripping church apart. I started to put together a small budget of just some thoughts on equipment. I was like already at like $15,000 to get like a separate portable sound system that would meet the needs for any gym activity. That would be packed up in a container, and could be used in the small gym, could be used in the large gym.
Okay.
So that will probably be a high priority because when you get to the Christmas service, it would be nice to have that system designed and purchased and set up. So I will put a bug in Mr. Donnell's ear to make sure to keep that high priority because we're in July already. By the time someone gets here, I'm a phone call away, but getting disconnected after 6 months, I'm like, oh, how did I do this again?
Right.
So we'll have to really.
And that's a totally different concept than the Thursday night portable system?
Yes, because the Thursday night just needs a piano and a pastor mic. And there is an old system that is still zipped up in a little bag on a cart that still works just fine for that.
Okay.
So this one for the gym program needed choir mics for the kids singing, needed main speakers for the room, needed monitors so the kids could hear the music from the piano, and needed signal for the live stream so we could do a live stream.
Mm-hmm.
So that made it for a much more complex. We needed the live stream computer as well. We had to rip that out and
Yeah.
haul that down there. So there's going to need to be some design on that. I'm willing to help if I can, but that's something we got to figure out sooner than later, probably.
Okay.
Because I don't know how a new person can come in or yourself can come in and rip all this stuff apart
Exactly.
and then put it all back together.
Right.
It's going to be a hot mess. So that is something that's priority
Okay.
number one, I think,
Okay.
coming in. So